So the other night, I woke up after my holidays. We just came back from my holiday in Fiji, and it was probably like 2:30 in the morning. Now we came back really late, and I woke up in bed, and I literally stood up. I was about here, and I had no idea where I was. Now we've been been on a week holiday, been to 2 different hotels. I woke up, I was so dazed and confused. Like I didn't know where anything was in this room. It was so dark. I was tired, I was half asleep, and I was literally like feeling, and I had this sense of awareness that something was over here, something was here, and I had to get to the toilet, and I was literally moving slowly. I wouldn't want to trip over the dog. I was trying to like feel for the room. And the reality is exactly how I felt, was this dazed and confused moment. And I remember thinking that when I kind of woke up to it, I realized I'm like, this is exactly how a lot of us feel when we have no idea of what we're doing. What I mean by this is that there's a lot of private chiropractors and a lot of practitioners, and I've been there, where we know we want to grow and we want to scale, we want to try to succeed. But the problem is that internally, we get so lost and confused because we don't know what the next step is. And when you're lost and confused, what ends up happens is it causes this moment of desperation. And it leads to anxiety, and it leads to this feeling of like not knowing what to do. But the thing is that you can't help yourself. I call this the moment of quicksand, because you feel like you're doing things. How many of you ever felt like this moment where you're doing a whole bunch of stuff? And that's not a really good place to be. And the reason why I know how that feels is because, well, I've been there, and I know a lot of my clients start with me because of that. And so I think what's really important is that from this whole moment of what I just talked about, getting up in the middle of the night, not knowing where I was in this bedroom, it's the same 3 strategies that I help my clients with. And I'm going to talk them through to help you, hopefully, if you ever feel like this in your situation. Number 1 is that if I got up in this moment, the first thing you should do, right, is if you don't know where you are, the first thing I did, I had to go, whoa, I have to stop moving, because the faster I move, I'm going to bump into something and hurt myself. And I think the first thing to do is actually stop running in quicksand, stop running on the treadmill, is to go stop and orientate yourself. And how you do that in practice is to kind of go, well, what am I trying to achieve? Like oftentimes we get stuck on like trying to achieve for achieve's sake, but we're not really knowing like, what are we actually aiming for? Very, very clear to stop and going, where are my starting point? Because if you don't know where your starting point is, and you don't know where you want to go and why you're doing it, then maybe the evaluation is about figuring that. So stop and orientate yourself, like, where am I? The second thing I think is really important here is about, if you don't know where you are, find some sort of reference point. It's like, for me, it was this wall here, right? That I had to touch on this wall to know like, oh, I'm in a room and there's the wall there. And so once you find out where you start to orientate yourself, you find some reference points. Look at your numbers, for example. My stat is X amount, and what's my starting points is like, my reference points, what am I actually really good at? Like, you might be retaining, I know a lot of clients who are amazing at retaining their clients, or you might be really good at generating new clients, which I have a lot of clients who just generate so many new clients, but you know what they're really bad at? They're terrible at retaining their clients or converting clients. And third is about test and reset. When you're stuck in action, when you don't know what to do, sometimes it's important to know like a direction that you want to start with and start moving forward. What you want to do is go, I think you need to be smart about going, this is the direction I want to go in, move in that direction for about 90 days. And in that 90 days, test whether or not that direction is actually getting you closer to what you want to do in the first place. Why are we continually do things over and over again on the same things if it's not moving you closer towards your goals? If you've been doing a whole bunch of stuff and not getting anywhere, maybe the stuff you're doing isn't actually getting you anywhere closer, and maybe you need to stop doing them. Someone says you should be doing them, but if it's not helping you, then maybe evaluate whether or not this is the right thing to do. Because tactical answers, like how to run a Facebook ad, or how to, what lines should I use, or scripting, or what tactical thing I can do for recalls. Those are tactical things which are great, but if that's not the thing that you need to do to get you closer to the objective, then you're wasting time. You got to be very clear of your objective, then choose the right strategy that's going to get you to the objective, and then apply the tactical responses in that strategy that will get you closer to that objective. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, that subscribe button, you should press it. And because I want to share videos with you just like this one to help you grow your practice.